Chapter 1. The Mysterious Wish. It was a cool autumn evening when Emily Watson stumbled upon the mysterious antique shop at the end of a winding alley. Its sign, faded and weathered, read Eccentric Emporium of Wonders. The quaint shop had an aura of nostalgia, as if it held secrets from centuries past. Inside, Emily found shelves lined with curious objects: crystal balls, dusty books, and peculiar trinkets. An old man with a long white beard stood behind the counter, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Welcome, my dear," he said with a toothless grin. "I have just the thing you need." Emily was drawn to a glass globe filled with swirling pink and blue mist. She touched it, and the world around her seemed to shift. She gasped as she felt herself shrinking, her clothes becoming too large, her limbs too long. Chapter 2. A Child in an Adult's Body. Emily blinked and looked around in shock. She was no longer the woman she remembered. Instead, she stood there, a child of 10, in a body that didn't belong to her. Panic set in as she realized she was trapped in the form of her younger self. She tugged at the oversized clothes, barely able to keep them from slipping off. "Excuse me," Emily shouted, her voice high-pitched and trembling. "What did you do to me?" The old man behind the counter cackled. "You made a wish, my dear. Be careful what you wish for it may come true." Emily, overwhelmed by confusion and fear, ran out of the shop and into the bustling streets. But she was no longer the confident woman she once was. People stared at her, offering bewildered looks as they passed by. Chapter 3. The Quest for Reversal. For days, Emily wandered the city, struggling to adapt to her childlike state. She slept in alleys, scavenged for food, and evaded authorities who mistook her for a lost child. She knew she needed to find a way back to her adult self. Desperation led her back to the Eccentric Emporium of Wonders. She confronted the old man and begged him to reverse the wish. "You must earn your way back," he said cryptically. "Find the 3 items that represent your lost innocence, and I will consider granting your request." Determined to reclaim her adulthood, Emily embarked on a quest. She searched her memories and the city for the objects that would lead her back to her true self. Along the way, she encountered both allies and adversaries who challenged her newfound innocence. Chapter 4. Rediscovering her childhood. As Emily's journey progressed, she uncovered fragments of her forgotten past. She found an old teddy bear in her childhood home, reminding her of the comfort and innocence of youth. She encountered a broken music box that played a haunting melody from her childhood piano lessons. But the final item remained elusive. Emily's encounters and adventures pushed her to reevaluate her perspective on life. She realized that innocence was not just about being a child but also about seeing the world with wonder, compassion, and hope. Chapter 5. The Transformation. At last, Emily found herself standing before the Eccentric Emporium of Wonders once more. She presented the old man with the teddy bear and the music box. But her heart sank when she realized she was still a child in an adult's body. "Patience, my dear," the old man said with a smile. "You have one more lesson to learn." As Emily contemplated her journey, she understood that her quest was not about returning to her old self, but about embracing the innocence and wonder she had lost along the way. With newfound clarity, she found the 3rd item drawing she had made as a child, filled with colorful dreams and aspiration. As she handed over the drawing, a warm light enveloped her. Emily felt herself changing, her body returning to adulthood. She was no longer a child trapped in an adult's body, but a woman who had rediscovered the innocence of her youth. Chapter 6. A New Beginning. Emily stepped out of the shop, once again an adult. She looked at the world with fresh eyes, appreciating the beauty and wonder that surrounded her. She knew that she could never go back to who she was before. But she had gained something more precious: a second chance to live life with the innocence and hope of a child. With a heart full of gratitude, Emily left the Eccentric Emporium of Wonders behind, ready to embark on a new chapter of her life, forever changed by her extraordinary journey to reclaim her innocence.